Welcome, everyone, to take three of the Deep Focus podcast, where in today's episode, Murad and I will be talking about the HFPA's response to the Golden Globes and the LA Times article, plus a new weekly segment that we will be starting today called Hot or Not.
But first, Five got on the beat.
Welcome, everyone, again to today's episode. Murad, I got a fun fact for you. So, as we all know already, Kim and Kanye didn't work out. Who
This
didn't
is
see
making
that
me
coming?
nervous. I don't know why. Okay.
Didn't work out all for. I'm sure people are not surprised by this. Okay.
Okay.
And Dak Prescott, do you watch football at all? Or do you hear about this news?
No, but I know who he is.
Okay.
So tell me.
So Dak Prescott, who is the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys,
Mhm.
signed one of the richest deals in NFL history for an athlete.
Is
So
it
he
more?
signed
Is it more than Kermit? What's his name?
Pat Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes. Yeah.
I don't know how I knew that.
I know.
But so, and I'll show you guys. I'll explain how it all intertwines. So Dak Prescott signed a 4-year contract worth up to $164 million with 120 plus guaranteed. He is now the face of the franchise of quote unquote America's team. What's the common theme here? Here's the fun fact. So me being the gambler I am, looking at some odds. Do you know that Dak Prescott has better odds to win Kim Kardashian than winning a Super Bowl? So right now, Dak Prescott to land Kim Kardashian after his new contract is at a plus 2,500. And now
People are betting on this?
Of course they are betting on this.
Oh my God.
Of course.
Why?
He's a million dollar smile now. He's living his best life.
That's fair.
And Dak and the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl is a plus 3,000. As an Eagles fan, this makes me very happy. I'm excited that Kim is part of an NFL athletes circle, even though nothing is popped out, no rumors or nothing, but I'm loving life. So
So is there a possibility of this happening?
I have no idea.
Okay.
That was a cool fact.
Okay, cool. That's a cool fact. That's certified.
I wanted to happen. I want the Kardashian curse to come to NFL, especially to the Dallas Cowboys. That would be amazing.
Oh my!
Right? I'm sure I am triggering a bunch of Cowboy fans out there, but I don't give an F. Right? As an Eagles fan, I win a Super Bowl in recent time, then we can talk.
That's fair. I like it.
But first, but that's awesome. We'll talk about that. I just want to get out of the way. I thought it was a cool fact I wanted to bring up.
That is a certified cool fact, bro. Certified. Put a stamp on it.
But that's not why people are here. People are here because this is the safe place where we are talking about all movies and TV shows and where no one has bad taste in anything. Even though you don't like Fast and the Furious, that's still bad taste on you.
Listen, we'll talk about that later, right?
That's a whole episode we have planned.
Don't yell at
me. So don't worry about that, guys. What did you watch this week, man?
Nothing new. So.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks for providing all the insight and all the opinions you have for people. How are people going to trust us if you're not going to watch anything, man? What is wrong with you? No. Well, come on.
So I didn't know I was going to be put on the spot like that, right? I sat at home and I watched Family Guy. That's all I did.
My bad. I thought you didn't do your job. And this is a podcast for the people, by the people. You're letting the people down. And if he is, people,
it's okay. I'm used to letting people down. You should talk to my parents.
Please leave a comment. Please leave a comment on our Instagram page, our Twitter page, or email us. All the links will be below. So, guys, tell Murad, tell him to step up because this isn't cool. We can't do a weekly podcast where we have nothing new to watch. So, unlike you, I watched something new. So
what did you watch?
I watched quite a few things. So there's quite a few things on my, that's on my list right now.
Yeah.
On Netflix, I'm currently watching the New Amsterdam. Another great dramatic hospital show. It's a formula for success. It can't go wrong. Which maybe one day we'll talk about you further. But one thing I watched this week, I mentioned last week, that I want to dig into a little bit. So I finally watched Coming to America, sequel, long awaited sequel starring Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall, and a group of characters that was in the sequel, in the original, that's obviously back in the sequel,
Available on Amazon Prime Video
for free to stream.
for free to stream.
You don't have to pay extra to rent it.
You hear that?
We're still waiting for our Amazon plug, Bezos. Honestly, any streaming site, we just want to get paid. We want to get the bag, please. Come on, guys.
Secure the bag alert.
Yeah, but Bezos, you get first priority. Any bidding war, you're in. But nothing. That's my train of thought. But okay, so back to the movie.
Yeah.
So I know off the camera, Murad, you and I were talking about this, where you made a defense where where you said a movie this far apart from a sequel does not have a great track record. And I sort of defended that when talking about movies such as Blade Runner, such as Max Fury, and I forgot to separate one thing: comedy, and how much comedy has changed in the last 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, however the case may be.
Absolutely.
For multiple reasons, whether it's cancel culture, whether it's the star power behind it, or the willingness to take risks. There's multiple reasons why comedies just don't do as well on the big screen. There's still a lot of great stuff to watch on TV. There's a lot of great shows for adults and kids when it comes to like shows like Rick and Morty. There was the Big Bang Theory just ended recently, Silicon Valley, and the list goes on and on about the tens and tens of amazing sitcoms or comedies that's been on TV. But when it comes to,
it was tens of tens, not tens of hundreds. It's just
there isn't. Like I can't think of tens. Like my favorite comedies I've been open about to you has been Seinfeld, has been Parks and Recreation, The Office, which I've probably seen a million times. And like there's a list. There's still a long list of it. I didn't grow up on sitcom. I'm super young, but going back to the big screen, it hasn't been there, and I don't know what it could be. I know for myself, like when it came to watching comedies, especially in the 2000s, it was at the peak of its power. And I don't know if you could think off the top of your head what's changed or not changed, but in the 2000s, and just to list of some movies that we had Old School.
Absolutely.
We had Step Brothers, which we talked about off camera right before this. We had
Step Up, the dance movie.
Step Brothers.
Oh, Step Brothers. Okay, there you go.
Bad people. Step Brothers.
Much better.
Step Brothers, Dodgeball, Role Models. Like, you know what? You can go list on the 2000s.
Borat, Norbit.
Yeah, right. And I'm sure there's tons of movies we're missing. Like we're not even mentioning.
Absolutely.
Tropic Thunder, some of my favorite movies to watch over and over again. Right. Starring and directed by Ben Stiller. Like amazing. And then to go into 2010s, we don't have to see a drop off, but then you can see it's sort of dwindling down.
Right.
So when you do get movies such as Bad Neighbors, starring Seth Rogen and Zac Efron, you have Bridesmaids, the other guys. I believe Stupid Crazy Love also came out in 2010s, which is one of my favorite.
Would you classify that as a comedy? So that's because that's my argument.
So that's fair. So there were funny moments. You're absolutely right. It probably not. But I feel like for certain things, still push some boundaries.
Sure, but then you also what I want to talk what my rebuttal to that would be: are there any pure comedy movies?
And the only one I could think of in recent memory is The Good Boys?
Oh yeah. With the three little kids.
Yeah, which came out in 2019, and it was Booksmart that came out very recent too. Like really outside of those in the 2010s, we especially in the latter half of it,
right?
It's not dead; it's just tailed off. And why do you think that is?
Well, so that's the thing. I don't think you can have a pure comedy because the overarching storyline isn't the comedy bit. The overarching storyline is everything else, right? So romantic comedies, action comedy, right? So I think the precedent and the story is more navigating towards it being something else, and then a comedy is the afterthought, right?
Okay.
So that's why I think there's not that many true comedies. Like maybe like The Hangover, I would say is a true comedy, like
Of
something
course.
like that, where the humor was the forefront. The story was the back end. And of course
Yeah.
the story was there, but the humor was driving the story. The story wasn't driving the humor,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So that's my sort of look at it of like, are there any true comedy movies? I would probably say not that many. Comedy is as a genre, it's there's a reason why you see comedy lumped in with other categories. It's never like it's always best something and comedy nominated this year, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
But then go back to my original question then. Why
Mhm,
do you think we're not seeing as many pure comedies then? If you want to classify pure comedies as that way,
mhm.
why aren't we seeing it as much on the big screen? What's holding us
Uh,
back or Hollywood back
mhm,
to bring it in more and solely focusing on the TV side part of it,
mhm,
for television, for home?
mhm. I honestly think it's more because comedians have infiltrated are comedians are actors, right? Actors are comedians, right? Before you had actors and you had comedians. Now you're seeing a sort of blur, right? You have Kevin Hart is the biggest example. Kevin Hart is a movie star and a comedian, right? Would he want to be classified as a movie star slash comedian? I don't know, because he loves doing stand up, and we know that, right? Whereas, like in the past, you had people like Dave Chappelle, who was a comedian first and then an actor second, right? Eddie Murphy, comedian first, actor second. Everyone that was on SNL were comedians first and then actors second, which is why they weren't great actors, but they were hilarious comedians, right? Whereas now, because there's so much of a hybrid mix in the industry, I'm not sure if you have true comedians or true comedy stars who are just comedians that can put out these movies. Kevin Hart makes a lot of really funny movies, if that's your type of humor.
That's saying a lot of funny movies, but being overstretched. He puts a lot
Right.
of movies out. I agree with that.
He puts a
Funny
lot,
is a different topic.
right.
Yeah.
But his movies are comedic movies,
Yeah.
right? Where
Yeah.
the comedy is driving it. And you can tell because of the way that the jokes and the punchlines are written, the characters are written. You can tell that they're pure comedies as opposed to, oh, this person really likes this person, and but there's some jokes in the middle of it. Right? That's my take on it.
Yeah, like you can see the movies progressing over time where, like you're mentioning, like the story is driving the comedy more. And Judd
Mhm.
Apatow is a perfect example of that, where he's always had the story in there, but he really emphasized the comedy.
Right.
When you look at the movies he may have directed but was involved in, when you talk about
Mhm.
40 Year Virgin, when you
Yeah.
talk about
The change up.
what was the most, sorry?
The
The Change
change
Up,
up. Yeah.
Knocked Up.
Knocked up.
Yeah, he didn't do Change Up.
Did change up.
He did not do Change Up. Did Judd
Am
Apatow
I
do Change
wrong?
Up?
I don't
I feel
know.
like he did, man. Are you gonna get
That,
called
that's
up?
such a that's such a classic Judd Apatow style film, though. I may be wrong.
I think you are, man,
Oh,
because
never
I
mind.
don't
Yeah,
think
I'm
it
wrong.
is.
I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Yeah,
My
I don't.
bad.
And the reason why I can tell, so I will disagree. It's not the Judd Apatow
Mhm.
type of movie because it really digs deeper into the friendship. I know friendship is part and the cue of the change up,
Oh,
but it
I
doesn't
see. I
dig
see.
into it. Like we're in Bridesmaids, where you had the two leads just talking in a cafe and it's like showing what friends' conversations like, and you see that
Right.
in Knocked Up, and you see that in all the movies he's in, and you
Mhm.
also see that in King of Staten Island, where he
Mhm.
sort of focused more on the dramatic side of things
Mhm.
about a young male who's struggling to move on with his life, become
Mhm.
the adult without without his father figure being in the picture now.
Right.
So you can see some of these old school, like, I don't say old, not old school, but you can see this directors and actors with a comedy background changing the
Mhm.
style. And do you think this will be this? Do you think this is permanent, or do you think this will be temporary?
I think with anything in the industry, I think it's all temporary. I think you're going to see a switch up in terms of comedy styles, because even if you look at movies from the early 2010s till now, very different.
Yeah.
Like typical comedies that I watch now are not the same as they, like you were saying, like Crazy Stupid Love, and even like coming of age movies are much different now than they were before, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's because the people that are now making them are people that had a completely different upbringing than to those classic, like you said, Judd Apatow types,
Yeah.
right?
I really hope it. I really hope it is temporary.
Hmm.
Like I feel like comedies is probably my favorite genre of movies.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a movie that where I can always put on, no matter what mood I'm in. And I mentioned on the
Hmm.
first episode with everything that's been going on in the world the last few years, I'm
Hmm.
watching comedy more than ever because who doesn't like a good laugh?
Right.
Um, and at the same time, everyone has different tastes in comedy,
Hmm.
right? So just because I find something funny and you might not find that funny,
Hmm.
so I just hope they bring it back. Not soon, just bring it back. Like they did
Eventually.
with they did with action movies. Like for so
Hmm.
long, we had the Arnolds of the world, we had Stallones of the world,
Hmm.
and we had this massive gap where like we weren't seeing good action flick in a long time. That's why when it comes
Well.
to good action movies for so long
Hmm.
ago,
Hmm.
I would enjoy like the Connors or the Commandos or the Terminators,
Hmm.
of the movies like that. Rambo, one of the
Right.
first great action flicks. Two,
Hmm.
we have a big gap. Then we're back now with the John Wicks of the world,
Hmm.
Denzel Washington's Equalizer. So
Hmm.
it was just a temporary gap. I felt like, and now I feel like we're taking that with comedy. So I'm hoping that
Right.
eventually we will be getting movies like that again. And I'm hoping this from guys like Judd Apatow, from guys like Seth Rogen, who's part of
Hmm.
that sort of Judd Apatow's, there's a football term, but or sports term, but their coaching tree, because
Hmm.
those guys all came from that coaching tree
Hmm.
under Judd Apatow, and I really hope they really just going to continue that because
Hmm.
who doesn't like good comedy?
Right. And it's fascinating that you mentioned director, or sorry, coaching trees, because you can tell where certain directors and certain people, when they make movies, you can see where they get their influences from. And I brought up SNL before, but people who are on SNL and then they move into movies, like Adam Sandler, right?
Mhm.
Adam Sandler's movies are like watching a giant, like 2 hour long SNL sketch, because that's how his comedy works, right? So it's really fascinating that you mentioned that, because I never thought of it that way until just right now,
Yeah.
right? And if we, if we look at, like, I know you're saying that we went through this whole period of withdraw from good pure action movies, but I think even if you look at it from the time periods that they were based in, like a lot of the good action flicks, were from the 80s and 90s, right? And in that time period, you had so many uh conflicts happening in the world, whether it be the fallout from the Cold War,
Mhm.
or whether it be everything that was happening around the world in the 90s to the Gulf War. Like you had a lot of these like you had a lot of these tense events happening. And then for a while, yes, there was still a lot of tension, but it was more diplomatic than anything. So then a lot of movies,
I don't agree with that.
interesting.
I don't
Okay.
agree with that at all. I think the genre of movies is driven by the actors and the directors and the writers of those films. Like the key piece of not having an action movie for those action movies for so long, we
Mhm.
didn't have an action star. We tried so many times.
Right.
We tried making it Jason Statham in the Transporter movies. And no, it had a nice run,
Mhm.
right? We tried that so much. We tried with The Rock. You know what?
Sure.
We didn't end up being how as successful as I thought it would be. Like
Mhm.
his movies are entertaining. It's The Rock, so I'm still be watching his movies regardless. But
Mhm.
it's we always try to gravitate towards these action movies. And in my opinion, the first action star to come to really take the helm was Liam Neeson taken.
Oh, okay.
So that's what things that happen with comedy. So with comedy, I mentioned multiple reasons why it could be not happening right now.
Mhm.
I think part of that is when it comes to the type of viewerships are like that people are looking to watch.
Mhm.
But I just think that like, and going to my final point, is that it's the people we're missing.
Mhm.
Keanu Reeves stepped up.
Right?
He did a great job in Speed. He did The Matrix, and now with the John Wick
John,
series,
absolutely.
right? And then I just think that we're missing that star to really grab the genre by the horns and just own it. And
Mhm.
Liam Neeson did own that. And he aged poorly in the Taken sequels, but who wasn't all in on Taken? And who
Right.
all then he came out with Unknown right after that and The
Mhm.
Great after that. So we just need that star to sort of come back in the comedy series. I really thought that was gonna be Tiffany Haddish. It didn't blow up as much as I love Tiffany Haddish. I loved her in Key and Peele's Keanu movie. I thought she's
Mhm.
fantastic in that.
Mhm.
She has been great in a bunch of okay movies.
Right.
She carried a lot of okay movies, I felt like, and I really thought that was a star.
Mhm.
So yeah, so that's those are my thoughts. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
So Hollywood, like if there's a comedy star out there in the making, let them free, let them go, let them do his thing. I'm not it, man. Don't.
Hire
No.
Varun and I will make you laugh. Yeah, just did it.
I might need a drink
That's
to get
fine.
the people going. I know my laugh is making quite the impression on some of our quote unquote fan base, if you want to call it that.
Quote unquote.
But I think it's a good time to take a break.
Yeah. Mhm.
Let's take a moment to regroup ourselves, and when we come back, Mural will touch base on the HFPA follow up from the Golden
There's
Globes.
more to talk about.
All right,
Get there.
see you guys in a bit.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining back with us. Right before we stepped off, we finished a great conversation about comedy movies, but I want to sort of go back to our episode last week, actually, where we talked about the HFPA and their sort of responsibility and role in the Golden Globes. And funnily enough, a few days after the Golden Globes actually aired, the HFPA came out with a statement, as all corporations do. Now, some of these things I'm going to read verbatim because they are very important moving forward. But they just said that they recognize that the HFPA they do have a problem with not having Black journalists, and they've acknowledged this, and they're committed to a transformational change, quote unquote. That's exactly what they wrote. So effective immediately, the board is in consultation with a third-party firm, and they're going to take a look at all of the policies, all of the procedures, and reform changes. Right. So that's what they said. They're also going to be looking at doing more sponsorships, more internships, and taking control and sort of really overseeing the impact that Black journalists do have directly on to Hollywood, the HFPA in general. And they're going to be engaging in an outreach program, specifically adding Black and other underrepresented professionals to their organization. So essentially, they're saying, hey, we heard you, and we're going to be bringing more people on. Right now, I get it. The cynic in me wants to think that that this is just a political tactic, like we were saying last week, Varun. I hope they don't do. Oh, this is my one Black friend. Oh, I'm not racist, right? So I hope that they take these words and they really take it to heart, and they do effectively make a change, because we did see changes with the Oscars, because now there's a minimum requirement that you have to have X amount of people on your production, whether it be cast, PAs, like production crew, or even extras that have to be people of color. So if you do meet those requirements, then your movies will be eligible for the Academy Awards, which is fantastic, right? Because it really does look like they changed, right? And so the Oscars to white movement did lead us to something beautiful, but now it's rearing its head again, and now we have to deal with this, right? And now we have another organization who says they're committed to change, and that they'll add in more members. They'll do mentorship, internship, and scholarship programs for Black and underrepresented students who are interested in international journalism. So good. Now, Varun, do you think this is like you said last week? Do you think this is an overcorrection? Do you think they'll actually go through with it, or do you think this is just a media ploy until we forget about it and then we come back next year furious?
To answer the latter question first, I don't think this is temporary. I do believe it will be a permanent move by the individuals who run the HFPA and the Golden Globes. Whether the changes that are happening may not happen for the right reasons. It could be
Mm,
selfish reasons by the HFPA, but
mm,
teams are happening,
right.
right? Like it's one of those things where like I can be bitter about why they're doing anything, right? Like so that's the biggest thing for me.
Mhm,
My only fear is that are they going to search for that first minority who's qualified, or just find the right person,
mhm,
right?
right.
Um, I hate going back to football, but in football, there is a rule when you're looking for a new coach.
Mhm,
It's called the Rooney Rule. the Rooney Rule is that no matter how your coaching hire is going, you have to interview one minority candidate,
Okay.
no matter what. I think and National Football League should surpass that now. Not that minorities don't deserve a shot, but hire the best people. Hire the best people,
Okay.
no matter what skin color, no matter what the background is. Hire the
Mm,
best people,
mm,
right? But I do believe, but the NFL got there, and we're participating now because the Rooney Rule started it.
right.
So even though I don't believe is the having a quote unquote minority number or minimum number is the right move, but I think it's a good starting point to bring people in to showcase their talent.
Hmm.
So having the minimum number of people brought in, have a mandatory mandate of having 5-10%, whatever the number is,
Hmm.
in part of your production team, part of your staff, part of
Hmm.
the voting team, no matter what the number is,
Hmm.
it's a good starting point. So those individuals could show off, hey, you know what, we do belong here.
Hmm.
And I really hope it opens the eyes of the HFPA and all the award members and all the showrunners and the Hollywood execs, showing that, oh, hey, like there's talent here that
Hmm.
we haven't tapped yet. How can we tap the talent here? Because
Right.
there's just clearly talented people here.
Well, I
So
mean,
yeah,
so just to sort of bounce off that, when we were talking about the fact that there's all these people that are coming in, they have cool stories to tell because they have a diverse viewpoint. Fantastic. And I think that's going to be good because I often think of Hollywood as repetitive, right? Like it's going to produce the same type of movies because it's a very one-dimensional story, right? The last movie that really wowed me, more from a production standpoint than a story standpoint, I would say Boyhood, right?
yeah,
Movie took a phenomenally long time to make, but that was cool because the production, right? But a unique Hollywood story hasn't really been told in a long time, right? But I do think when you do have people such as, let's say, myself or yourself, or anyone who's not the classic Hollywood uh, protagonist, white, tell stories of their upbringing, then you're really gonna have people who can say, "Oh, this is a cool viewpoint. I never really thought of it before." Right. And so that's where I think like Hollywood's not going to be as repetitive because you do have so many diverse people telling their stories. Right. Uh, Whereas like if you look at shows like uh, Silicon Valley, right? Like where you had Kumail Nanjiani, fantastic actor in that role, but his role was still that nerdy techie Pakistani guy, right?
yeah,
Whereas if you look at his other stuff, his Marvel stuff that he's doing, and the other movies that he did with Batista and whatnot, right? He's more than just that
Stuber,
character.
great movie. Sorry,
Stuber, yeah,
yeah,
Stuber. I kept
fantastic
thinking
movie.
Flubber for some reason,
No,
but Stuber, yeah.
Stuber, yeah,
But yeah, like he's more than just that one-sided character, right? And if you give people these stories to tell, they will tell them, right? There's a British show on the BBC called Man Like Mobeen, right? It's a show about an ex drug dealer from the streets who's now a role model to his sister, and he's the primary caretaker. But that show directly addresses Islamophobia and racism in the UK, which is a fantastic idea. But that story would not have been told had he not been the one to say, "Hey, I want to tell the story." And it's a show that I hadn't really seen in a long time, right? So I know we're off topic, but the other thing I wanted to talk about was favoritism in the HFPA because they're easily bribed apparently because
really?
oh
No,
yeah, did you
this
know that?
this
You
old
know
white people want get paid.
I
So do
know.
we. Help us out.
Exactly. Yeah,
Come on,
Amazon.
guys.
Amazon, get it.
Anyone.
Help us get the bag.
eBay, eBay,
Yeah,
Wish. Are you out
sure.
there? Anyone?
Wish.
Yeah, why not? Just want the bag.
Just give us a bag. What I want to talk about specifically was Emily in Paris, which is a really problematic show. Received best TV show in the comedy whatever role, right? Only reason why it was there is because it came out that the showrunners, the producers of Emily in Paris, flew everyone out from the HFPA or like the really high up people to go to Paris and schmooze them and dine at fancy restaurants and get them nights in a really nice hotel that costs like £1,400 a night or €1,400 a night, which is stupid expensive. But it's that favoritism treatment that got them to that spot, right? Definitely didn't deserve it, but they were there, right? Like Insecure could have been there. Insecure should have been there, right? But it wasn't. I may destroy you should have been there. It wasn't there, right? So this clear favoritism, I'm kind of tired of it because it's an Emily in Paris was such a unique show because it just portrayed Americans as the be all and end all. But you know what? That's my rant. I'm I'm tired of it, and I wish things would change. But yeah, I don't know how or when they will, but I hope it does. Varun, I know you had a special way to take us out of the episode, but just before we head into that, I was wondering if you're okay with taking a break, give our listeners a little break as well, and then we'll come back.
Welcome back, guys, for the final segment of our show. This is the part of the show where we're going to add on a weekly basis called Hot or Not. So the purpose of this is whatever news and highlights that come out throughout the week. Moron. Anybody who's wondering, he's being cheesy as heck as always. But the point of this segment is any news that comes this week.
Mhm,
When it comes to potential new movie trailers, when it comes to casting,
mhm.
set photos, director hiring, anything like that at all, we will pick out a few that stuck out to us, good or bad, and see what we think about it.
All right.
So, Murad, I'm going to give you the C first. What stuck to you this week?
Adam Driver, cable knit sweater, Lady Gaga in the Alps. Gucci. I think it's dope. I'm excited. It's hot for me, bro. What a
what's getting you excited about it?
cast. Like you're saying, like we were discussing before, cast is awesome. I like me some Adam Driver, Marriage Story, Star Wars. Give me all of it. Lady Gaga. I did not know that she would be a good actor until I saw uh, her and Bradley Cooper do their thing. Fantastic. And so I don't doubt that this is going to be good. I think it's going to be great. And I as a lover of fashion, I'm excited for it, man. I was just as excited when I saw the assassination of Gianni Versace because I was like, oh, cool, fashion and media, awesome. So that's why I like it.
For anyone who's wondering, the Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga movie is called Stars Born. Don't watch it unless you're ready to cry. Amazing movie. But yeah, she definitely showed her acting chops in that, and she was amazing in her debut job in the FX series American Horror Story, which I
Hmm.
thought she was absolutely amazing in. Uh, this is a show that I won't say hot. It's very hard for me to say not until the next movie I'm going to talk about. But I'm gonna say hot, even
Hmm.
though this cast is absolutely. You already mentioned Lady Gaga. You already
Hmm.
mentioned Adam Driver. And it's also Jared Leto and Al Pacino. So the cast is stacked.
Right.
But we've been fooled before by Ridley Scott. So
That's
I'm
fair.
definitely gonna say hot, but with
Yeah.
with cautious,
Yeah.
with caution.
A,
So
a, ske- a
I'm
skeptical hot, like a
yeah.
catfish
So
almost.
yeah, you run those bots who are like, hey, you look cute. I'm like, bro, my picture's not even up there. Like, what's going
Baby,
on?
you're hot. Yeah, yeah, like that. I got you. I got you. Picking up what you're putting
But yeah,
down.
I'm gonna say hot. I'm
Okay.
in. Um, I'm not. I know you're really into the fashion industry. Me, not so much.
Mhm.
I like my H&M. I'm good with that. My Costco sweats. You know how
Mhm.
we do. They're
Undefeated.
comfy. They're comfy. It's all that matters. But
Yeah.
I am really excited for this movie, and I am excited for more photos to come out and whenever the trailer drops. But it's gonna be. I do believe it has the potential to be a fantastic movie. So
Absolutely.
hopefully it
Absolutely.
lives up to the hype that I had built in my head. All right. So the next movie we're going to talk about
What
is
do
a
you
movie
got?
that I am not looking forward to.
Oh no.
And it's a movie that I don't know why Hollywood's making it. And for us hip hop fans, I feel confident you feel the same way. The movie's called City of Lies. Have you heard of that?
No,
Oh,
I
you
have
look
not.
nervous. You
I
look
know
nervous.
you just
Uh,
you because you said you're not excited for it. Hip hop fans are gonna be mad. What did this like? What is
I,
is it about
I
Biggie or
feel
what?
like yeah, it's the new they're doing another Biggie movie again.
Oh,
So
it's
the movie's called,
joking,
like I
really?
mentioned, City Lies. Trailers is on YouTube already. We'll post a link on our YouTube page if you want to
Mhm.
check out the trailers. But it's starring Johnny Depp, Forrest Whitaker. Is the another film about the murder investigation of Biggie Smalls and the potential corruption behind the LAPD and along those lines.
I really hope Johnny
Does
Depp isn't playing Biggie.
does this sound familiar though? We've had this before, Netflix,
Absolutely, yeah.
right? Like,
Mhm,
why are we doing this again?
mhm.
Right? I'm still not sure if Forrest Whitaker is a good actor. I'll still watch his movies.
Sure.
And I don't remember the last time Johnny Depp has made a good movie when playing someone normal. Donnie
Okay.
Brasco comes to my mind. His last movies that I enjoyed was part of the Pirate series.
Sure.
So
Classic.
it's been a minute.
I don't know. I thought he was fun
I'm really
in.
hoping Amber Heard, like walking away, maybe help his movie career. Maybe he's coming back motivated. I don't
Yeah.
know. We need this to do well. I have zero confidence it's gonna do anything but disappoint. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I'm sympathetic to Johnny Depp in many ways because of the things that he went through with Amber Heard. And
Yeah,
Johnny Depp, if you're listening to this, bro, I support you. I 100%. It's really bad what happened, and if you're listening to this, hopefully you are. If you're not, it is what it is. We're new at this, but I don't. I want this movie to work out because I genuinely did like Johnny Depp as an actor. You know,
did or do?
I did, like you said, I haven't
Yeah,
like him on Murder in the Orient Express. He was not the best part of it, but he also wasn't the
he was
worst. He
fine.
was he was fine,
He was
right?
fine.
He's passable, but
He
that's
was
not
fine.
like you said, Donnie Brasco, fantastic, off the charts, right? Um, so I hope it does well. I haven't seen the trailer, so I can't really give you an honest opinion. But I'm tired of the same old Biggie, Tupac, who shot ya. For all my hip hop heads, you'll like that reference. But I'm tired of it. I don't want to rewatch that. I wish they would make a Beatles like movie,
Yeah,
not something called Yesterday when the Beatles don't exist. I want a proper Beatles movie, right?
yeah.
That's what I'm excited for. I don't want to. Yeah, I'm. It's recycled. Like I said, it's not. I'm not for it.
There's a lot of great biopic potential out there when it comes to the history of musicians,
Mhm.
and I just don't believe we need to touch this again.
No.
Um, as an opportunity, I understand it's a great story to talk about and it's very intriguing, but we know the LAPD is corrupt. We know there's conspiracies behind these murders.
Mhm.
I just don't know if it needs to be another a biopic about it.
Right.
But that's mine.
Right.
What do you got next for us, man?
Sticking to our theme. Space Jam 2, baby. I
Hey,
don't know, man. It's cool and all. I don't know that I want them to remake it. I don't know why they are, and it's like it's they're all remakes. They're all remakes, right? They're all just recycling the same thing, hoping that this time it'll be better, or this time it'll just be good as the original. I'm looking at you, Coming to America, exclusively streaming on Amazon Prime Video. However, However, I'm not excited for it. If we could choose lukewarm, I would because I'd still watch it, but I don't
it's
think
not an
I'd be
option.
excited at it. Oh, so
It's
it's
not.
cold.
You're
It's
sure
a
you're so it's
not
not for you,
not for
man. I
me.
am all in. I
Oh,
am all in. Like something about animated and live action people in the same movie. Something about
mhm.
that gets me excited.
You should watch Garfield.
I did watch
Uh,
Garfield. I absolutely did watch Garfield. Anytime it's happened, I'm in. I still haven't seen the new Tom and Jerry movie yet.
oh yeah.
I don't have no expectations, but I'm all in. Who Framed Roger's Rabbit, the original Space Jam. So this is a sequel that we're gonna have with LeBron James, and of course, Don Cheadle's in it, and the good old dudes and gals from the Warner Bros. Cast, such as Bugs Bunny and Lola Bunny. Not Pepe Le Pew, who's been recently canceled. So that's you don't know about that, judging by your face.
They canceled Pepe Le Pew?
Pepe Le Pew. So Pepe Le Pew has
What?
been canceled
It's a
because
cartoon.
yes, but rewatch and Dave Chappelle actually called this out on a stand-up he did many, many, many years ago. And I'm
Yeah.
sure if you find it, look on YouTube, you'll find it. But Pepe Le Pew promoted male aggressive culture by chasing the girl around no matter times how many she said no.
Yeah.
So I like as much as I
But
might
then so
rip,
did James Bond.
do you see it anymore? Right? Like that's the thing. Like you don't see it anymore. So they keep remaking it. So Pepe Le Pew, that's the whole idea behind it. Whether we agree with it or
Sure.
not, he's no longer in the movie. A new era of Lola Bunny, but I'm excited. I think LeBron
Okay.
James has the opportunity to be a really good actor. I did not like Trainwreck, but I thought he was hilarious.
Oh
And
yeah.
I thought he was really, and I see his commercial, everything. He has the opportunity to be just really funny.
Mhm.
And partnering up with Don Cheadle, I actually have high hopes for this movie.
Fair
I
enough.
think it's gonna do really well. And I know the soundtrack's gonna be fire again,
That's fair.
right? LeBron has his connects in the hip hop industry. I do think
Get
that
Jay-Z to do it. Jay-Z, if you're
I don't know,
listening to this,
man.
do it, bro.
But I'm excited.
Yeah, fair
I'm
enough.
all in. It's extreme hot for me. So hot. Like I'm ready to get burned. Let's go. um,
Ooh,
there you
that's hot.
go. Um, I have a couple more, so I don't know how much you have that, but the next one I want to talk about is a series that I've near and dear to my heart. Is the new season American Horror Story.
Okay.
So this is something where we don't know a whole lot about because it wasn't supposed to start filming originally until May. So we're a little bit early on it. The new season of American Horror Story in season 10 are bringing people like Paulson back, bringing Evan Peters back,
Mm.
and now also starring Macaulay Culkin, who's making the comeback.
Oh, he's a scary
So
dude.
yeah, so it's very exciting. If you I'm all in because it's FX. They're batting 100 when it comes to FX series. I'm all in. I'm not sure if you've seen the show before. What do you think?
I watched the show. It got spooky for me, so I was like, maybe not. Because it's as much as I like horror, I don't like the real weird. Because I was watching the first episode of the first season, and there was a dude in a gimp suit. I'm like, maybe not for me, bro. Although I do think they have the best theme song of any TV show of the modern time. Their
I do
theme song is so sick.
I do think FX produces the best shows in television right now.
Hmm.
In general. And if you don't have a subscription to FX, I highly recommend checking them
Hmm.
out. It's worth every penny. It's amazing. If you have any shows that you want to start watching, you want to know about it, please hit us up. And
American Crime Story, highly
there you
recommend
go.
it.
Yeah,
And Archer.
Ryan Murphy is our head writer for American Crime Story and Horror Story. So check it
Okay.
out. It's fantastic. I'm very
Hmm.
excited for it. And I do have one more I will
Sure, go
mention
for it.
for my favorite sports movie. It's going to be a third one out there. So I love Creed One. I've seen it maybe
Oh,
100 times.
yeah.
I see it about 100 times. I watched Creed 2. I liked it. It was good. I still enjoyed it. Now here's number 3. What a year for Michael B. Jordan, right?
Yeah, I know.
He's had Without Remorse coming out
Hmm.
on Amazon Prime. There you go for on the
Prime
streaming service.
plug.
Looks amazing, like
Yeah.
a fantastic revenge movie.
Hmm.
He's you know hanging around with Steve Harvey's girl. So
Oh
having a
no.
good year so far, living his best life, and now he's gonna make his director debut.
Hmm.
I'm excited for it, even though I have no idea what to expect from Michael B. Jordan. I'm very excited for it. I'm not sure what to expect or what's gonna happen in this trilogy, or it's gonna be longer. I'm not too sure, but I'm all in for Creed 3. I'm all in on Michael B. Jordan as the actor, and I'm all in as a director, especially if he's I would consider him as part of Ryan Coogler's coaching tree.
Absolutely.
So I do consider him part of that when they first came onto the big screen together. So I'm excited to see what happens this
Right.
Thanksgiving. I'll
Next
be human.
Thanksgiving, 2022.
2022. Oh man, it's
Yes.
way longer now. I feel
That's
sad.
okay.
Oh,
It takes time to make things perfect, bro.
hey, let's
Yeah,
go. Okay.
but I like it. I'm hot for that. I think
uh,
it's gonna be a cool. I'm hot for it, bro. I think it's gonna be a cool movie, good directorial debut, and that's all I want to say. I'm just gonna let the trailers and all that let me know what to expect. But with that being said,
I think it's time to call it, man. I think the people out there has enough for us for the week. So a reminder of our schedule. So as mentioned before, we'll be putting a new episode every Friday. So this episode will go out tomorrow, March 12th. Hopefully by Friday morning, it will be in everyone's ears or on everyone's screens. You could find us on Instagram and Twitter at the Deep Focus Pod, or email us at the Deep Focus Podcast at
gmail.com. Exclusively to Gmail.
We are currently still only streaming on bigger platforms on Spotify. We're still waiting to be on Apple Podcasts. Come on, Apple, hook us up.
Get it.
Google Podcasts. Where else can they find us, Murad?
They're also going to be able to find us on Anchor.
Mm-hmm.
They're also going to be able to find us on Radio Public and Breaker.
YouTube.
YouTube.
Man.
Oh, right. YouTube. My bad. My bad. Oh, my bad.
All the links is on
it. Next time you release the line, I'll catch it and I'll bring it back better.
all the links are on our Instagram page and our Twitter page. So, guys, if you could share, follow, like, I don't care what you do, just give us your opinion, what you think so far, and then
just tell us you love us.
We're excited for next week's episode, as the Oscar nominations will be announced on Monday, and we'll give another episode of Hot or Not next Friday, guys. Until then, peace.